KZN Premier Nomusa Dube-Ncube has confirmed that government will assist those who need help after severe storms in the province on Tuesday. Now, flooding has been reported in various areas, and a tornado also ripped through Inanda on the outskirts of Durban. Dube-Ncube says officials are still assessing the extent of the damage. At the same time, the province is hoping the weather conditions will improve ahead of the annual Durban July this Saturday. Premier Dube-Ncube joins us now via our video link for more on what's been done and the road ahead. Premier, it's lovely to see you. Thanks for making time for us here on Newzroom Afrika. We're also learning, Premier, that the death toll from this adverse weather conditions has now increased to about 4. Are you able to give us any details around the circumstances surrounding these people's deaths?
Yes, thank you very much for having us, and good morning to you and your viewers. Yes, we wish to first of all send our condolences to all the families that have lost their loved ones during this flooding. We've got about 4 casualties at the moment that have been reported around the eThekwini Metro municipality, with still one person remaining missing. So we are not able to confirm the total number really of fatalities. But what we can correctly say that the disaster management teams are on alert, continuing the rescue missions are ongoing, and we are hoping that by today we'll be able to get an updated report in terms of how many people we've been able to rescue and how many people we've been able to help, particularly the families of those casualties.
Yeah, and Premier, what, if anything, do you know about these 4 fatalities? I mean, are these people who sadly drowned? Are they people who were trapped in their homes? This is just so that people are aware of, things to avoid during this time.
Yes, in the main, it's the people that were in their homes, but they were washed away somehow during the heavy rains. And the other ones got injured on the way because of the debris, and they were ultimately washed away as well. We are still to get from our disaster management team, the police search and rescue team is still today in this morning's disaster management operations center. We will be getting an update report with regard to the circumstances that resulted to the fatalities that we are registering as of yesterday and today.
Yeah, fair enough. Premier, we've been able to gauge the sentiment of some residents who've been affected by what's taken place in those communities. And we can't help but notice the sense of skepticism from their part towards government. Many of them saying that even when the floods took place some months ago, the promises that were made certainly were not realized. I wonder what your message is to those people today who do need the help, but are worried that it may very well not come from government, despite what's been said in public.
Well, I would say to those people, they shouldn't really be doubtful of the mission of our government to assist those affected. To date, I can, confidently say that not even a single one of the families that were affected in 2022 are living in the mass care center. I can confidently say that yesterday we announced, or we handed over the keys and the houses to some of the victims that are now living in permanent houses together with the national minister and the mayor. We can also confidently say that the media has also seen some of the sites where building is taking place for the permanent houses of those that were affected even in the last year's floods. So we are really doing everything in our, in our means to make sure that people are settled in the correct places, but also in their permanent homes. More than that, we do provide immediate help. Like what had happened yesterday, our disaster management team, even day before yesterday, were already on site, even including other leaders. They were already on site giving relief to those people. Yesterday, again, we were able to provide even warm meals to those that did not have homes and to those that whose homes were permanently demolished. And those that whose homes were partially demolished today, because of the assessment that has been done, they are going to be given the building vouchers where they are going to be able to go and buy building material to replace their roofs and their doors and whatever that they need to correct in those partially damaged houses. So I would really say to our communities, they shouldn't really lose hope, because we are always there to provide relief, but also we are providing permanent solution to the problems that we are facing. But we also want to really send caution to our communities that in the main, there are a lot of people, for instance, the ones that were affected in Inanda, some of those people are the people who moved in to the places where already some people were removed because of the vulnerability of those houses where they were living. And when they left to move to their permanent homes, some people moved back into where they were not supposed to move into. And that really creates a lot of problems. But also the other mission that we have is that some of the people whose houses were damaged are people that live in the infills. The infills are the places where once the government have built some houses in those areas, you'd find that a lot of people would be attracted to come and live in those places, and they would then build informal structures around those formal structures that already exist. And those informal structures, unfortunately, when you get such heavy rains and heavy winds like we experienced in the tornado situation, those houses are really the mainly that get affected by this situation. But we are immediately able to then intervene and provide, temporary situation and solutions, after which we provide the permanent residents permanent relief, including, some of the, as I indicated, building materials, immediate shelter, and some of them that whose houses have been permanently or totally destroyed, we provide even temporary residential units where there are sites to build those temporary residential units.
Right. Premier, people will believe what you do more than what you say, and many of them are using what happened during the floods as a gauge of how to respond. So maybe let's respond to a particular event, right? I think it was R1 billion that was made available by Treasury to respond to the floods in April 2022. How much of that has been spent today, and on what?
A lot of that has been spent by various municipalities. Some municipalities stand at 95% spent on those grants that were provided. Houses have been built. If you go to Ilembe municipality, permanent houses were built for those people. If you go to Ugu municipality, same thing. In Pietermaritzburg, the houses are being built as we talk. Here in eThekwini, I did indicate that yesterday there were houses that were handed over to people. There are further houses that are being built as we talk. So those monies have been built, but also we have roads that were totally destroyed, and many of those roads, about 80% of those roads, have been fully reconstructed to its original state. So a lot of infrastructure really that was damaged, including even railway lines, because it's not only homes. We also have schools, we have clinics, we have a lot of infrastructure that was damaged. And a lot of that money went to reconstruct that infrastructure. And the Treasury has also seen the work that has been done in many of those areas.
Do you have figures for us, Premier?
Well, the figures really, as I indicated, it vary per municipality. In eThekwini, for instance, they are standing very low on the spend. I can say that. They are at about 60% spent, but other municipalities outside of eThekwini, they're all standing at 95%, 99% others, but they are doing very well in terms of spending. eThekwini, you can imagine that one of the major problems was the problem of availability of land, but when it comes to other infrastructure such as the water and sanitation, the roads, schools, and other infrastructure, they stand at about 99%. Except for the housing grant spend, which is the one that is at very low at the moment because of the availability of land, but also because of the housing. You can't construct the house within 6 months, particularly because you need to make sure that where you are building those houses, it's a place where people are going to be safe. It's a place that is rehabilitable, and it's a place that is that can provide permanent solution for the problems, because we know that we are now likely to get even more intense changes in the weather patterns. So we need to make sure that when we build something that is much resilient than before.
Speaking of the road that lies ahead, we know the Durban July is a major point of attraction for people who typically visit Durban or KZN on an annual basis. Should visitors be worried this time around?
Definitely not. We wish to say that all our visitors are going to be warmly welcome in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal. All systems go. We are ready to welcome everyone to come and enjoy our beautiful weather. The weather has been in the sunshine since yesterday, and it's predicted as well that over the weekend it's going to be sunshine. It's going to be all systems go. The law enforcement agencies are all up in all the centers of our areas in KwaZulu-Natal, really ready to welcome people to come and enjoy a sunny Durban and sunny weekend in KwaZulu-Natal. So really, our visitors need to really relax and travel very safely to come and experience our beautiful weather and our warm people, who are our greatest assets of being able to host many visitors with our beautiful hospitality.
All right. We do know that it's an event that has great economic spin-off, so on a very serious note, we do hope it goes well. Premier Nomusa Dube-Ncube, thanks for your time. Appreciate your engaging with us here on the AM Report.